Hello. Today we will be teaching you how to make a dendrobium tree centerpiece. This centerpiece is a bride favorite due to its luxurious white color and fullness. For this centerpiece we will be needing 60 stems of Dendrobium orchids. We need 60 stems to ensure that the centerpiece is full and that there are no gaps between the flowers in order to create the best effect. We will also be requiring a 24-inch Pilsner vase with a 4-inch mouth. We will be placing a matching container inside the neck of the vase and filling it with oasis in order to support the 60 stems of orchids. Ensure that the container fits nicely inside your vase. We will be needing some pre-wet oasis, some standard green floral tape, some satin ribbon, some standard tape, pre-wet acrylic balls, a glue gun, some scissors, and a strainer ideally for your acrylic decor. We will begin by prepping the inside of the vase. Decorating the inside of the vase simply gives it that added touch. So we will be filling the inside with pre-wet acrylic balls or whatever acrylic decoration you desire. The fact that the acrylic balls have some moisture is sufficient to support the 2 stems of Dendrobium orchids we will be inserting inside. This will give it enough moisture to survive your event and even a little bit after. You will not be needing any added water, and this is sufficient. We will be placing the 2 stems back to back inside the vase. You don't want to face the stems towards each other because you want the flowers to maintain a full volume. Next, we will be taking a plastic container and fitting it at the neck of the vase, ensuring to cut it down to size so that when the oasis is placed inside, there is enough oasis facing out of it to support 60 stems. So measure the oasis container and the oasis itself inside the neck of the vase to ensure that it fits and sits properly and doesn't fall in or hang too loosely on the top. Secure the oasis inside the neck of the vase and use green floral tape to secure it to the opening of the vase. We typically place the tape in a cross fashion with one at the bottom and another one laid over the top. That gives it an additional security and ensures that it sits tightly on the vase and will not fall off during transport. After you put the tape crisscross on top of each other, we will take another piece of tape and wrap it around the neck of the vase, adding it onto the container, ensuring that it sticks on so that there are no gaps between the container and the tape. Placing it firmly at the neck of the container ensures that no water from the oasis will drip down and into the vase. When water drips down into the vase, it tends to look messy and a little bit unappealing, so make sure that you follow this step carefully and that the container is very secured. Any excess floral tape can be tucked upward and onto the neck of the container. Make sure that the container is firmly secured. Once you have completed this step, you can hide the green tape with some satin ribbon. For this purpose, we will simply be using white to fit the theme. So you can just take it and measure it up against the neck of your vase, ensuring that all of the green floral tape is nicely covered. Cut the appropriate size, and then you may secure it quite simply with some glue from a hot glue gun. You may also use tape. This is entirely up to you. Next, we will begin by taking the stems of the Dendrobium orchids and starting to arrange them inside the oasis. Measure your oasis against the vase in order to make sure you are achieving the desired effect. You do not want the stems to be peering outwardly in a too long fashion, because that will simply create more volume that you're prepared to cover and more gaps will be visible. So ensure that you are cutting a little bit off the stems and placing them deeply inside the oasis. Do not leave the stems not placed firmly inside the oasis, because that will cause them to fall out or droop. Here we are beginning to arrange them at the top of the oasis, as you can see. Use your own vantage point here and fill it in a spherical fashion, which is what we are trying to achieve. This will be a very voluminous ball shape. You will need some stems at the bottom of the vase drooping a little bit downward, but remember to place the stem firmly inside the oasis so that nothing falls out. And remember, you are creating a full round shape in order to make sure you have volume and fullness. Since some stems tend to be more sharply pointed upward and some stems tend to have more of a natural slope, you may put those stems on the side so that they fall like branches. And the ones with a more sharp, straight feel to them, you can put in places where the drooping may not be necessary. So on the side, at the bottom, at the top. Simply try to imitate the natural effect of a tree and branches and place them at the top, on the sides, and at the bottom. And the natural texture and shape and flow of the orchid will allow you to create the spherical shape without much difficulty. This isn't a tremendously difficult arrangement to make. And you will find that as you go along, you will develop a better sense of the shape and where flowers tend to go, so there's no actual direct scheme to this. You simply allow your imagination to guide you. Here is the finished product. However, you might notice that some of the greenery from the oasis is peering through a little bit. And this is inevitable unless you have infinite amount of dendrobium stems. And since this is such a decadent arrangement, we want it to look as white as possible. So I will let you in on a little secret. The gaps can be filled with tulle of a matching color. Here we are using a little bit of pure white tulle, just some scraps we have from a prior project, and you can bundle them up and place them in the gaps between the stems, and this will allow to create a more full and perfect look. So simply take some tulle and with a light hand place them in the gaps in order to cover up any visible oasis. This is a very luxurious arrangement, and you can use it as a centerpiece. But you can also use it as a head table or at the entrance to your hall, depending on your budget. Once you have completed this centerpiece, just make sure that everything is sitting tightly. And this is what the final product looks like. Adjust any of the tulle and any of the stems as you see fit in order to make sure you've met your desired shape. Good luck and enjoy working on this project.